and welcome back to FYI Weddings. Today we're here at Delicious Cakes talking to Butch Stivers about wedding cakes. Tell me about the Groom's cake. Are there any trends in the Groom's cakes?
I try to lean the brides towards the whimsical side. What is your fiance's hobbies? What is his interest? What school did he go to?
I've seen everything from a simple chocolate cake with a design and icing on top, all the way up to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cake. And that cake at that wedding, the groom did not want to cut the cake.
No.
Because it was just so spectacular.
Like the Millennium Falcon, we spent 40 hours on that cake.
Wow.
I got the drawings of the real Millennium Falcon, and we scaled it down so that it looked pretty authentic. And to spend that much time developing a work of art and then watch somebody destroy it in 5 minutes is heartbreaking.
Now, in figuring out the number of people you're going to order cake for, do people include the groom's cake for that service, or does everybody who gets bridal cake want also groom's cake?
No, usually, let's just say we're going to have 150 guests. I would suggest that the wedding cake be a minimum of 130, up to 150, because most guests want a piece of the bride's cake. And then for the groom's cake, we would do 75 servings, so half of the number. And that's typically enough.
I know the groom's cake are a more whimsical. What about their size? Are they growing in size just to have something spectacular, even though you may be only serving 75 people, or do you fit the design to that 75 servings?
I try to fit the design to that. However, for instance, I had a couple that wanted a beer pong table. Okay, and they needed 50 servings. Well, I mean, 50 servings would be a cake, this big. And that's going to look like a pretty small. So, I made it bigger, but instead of making it thicker, I made it thinner. So, we try to match it. So, because cakes are expensive. You don't want to waste a lot of cake.
Is it the bride or the groom that comes up with the design for the groom's cake?
Usually it's the groom.
And the groom's cake, what's the most whimsical groom's cake? I know we talked about the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that was my number one. We did a video we put on YouTube, but that was the most fun we've ever had with one. But I've done, along with that, the wedding cake that I just told you about with all the flowers on it, we did a Whataburger for the groom's cake with French fries. And I mean, it's whatever you can dream of.
Could you have the same kind of cake for the bride's cake and the groom's cake? Or does the groom's cake tend more toward the chocolate?
99% of the time it's chocolate. Now, you'll get a groom that doesn't want it. I had a groom that specifically liked pink champagne, and he actually wanted to do that for his bachelor party. But I wouldn't sell it to him because I was afraid he'd lose his man's card. Well, so, I mean, it really depends on the person, the individual. I find that guests will eat whatever you put in front of them.
Butch, this has all been very, very interesting. I'm glad you had the time to sit down with us on FYI Weddings. Join us next time when we have talk with somebody else about what a bride needs to know about her wedding.